Now I'm about to dissect the strategy that Kendrick used to win. I've hinted towards it a little bit in the video already, but now we're gonna really dive deep into, the strategy and what you can learn from Kendrick's strategy and how to defeat your opponents in the business in general. So let's get to it. All right. So you guys know the guys that Earn Your Leisure. Love them, love them, love them. Okay, so let's see what they have to say about this whole fight.
About accepting challenges when you have everything to
stop.
Accepting challenges when you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. It's not really advantageous to fight down. It is very advantageous to fight up. In this situation, I think Drake had nothing to really gain in this situation and everything to lose. The public was going to pretty much say he lost no matter what he did. He would have had to execute a flawless game plan, a flawless delivery. Anything short of absolute perfection, the fight was kind of fixed. Not to say that Kendrick did what he's supposed to do, but Drake just had so much negativity that just the public animosity for him, it was kind of a no-win situation for him.
What caused the animosity, you think? Because I think that's a great lesson too.
Any type of success breeds envy, man.
There's a reason why Jay-Z is not on Instagram. There's a reason why Eminem, you never see him. There's a reason why Dr. Dre, very few people can maintain over a decade of dominance and be in the public eye for all the time and not garnish some level of resentment and hate. It's human nature, right? So I think a lot of it just comes from people just don't like to see people winning for long periods of time. It's like LeBron James.
That's right. That's it. Perfect. That's the perfect comparison.
I think I think it's deeper than that. I think that's a very shallow perspective. I'll break down. Let them finish, and then I'll tell you why I think people are not rooting for Drake.
Part of it, I think it might be some level of his personality.
That's it.
He's kind of a person that's easy to hate. You would traditionally say it like he's like a corny guy, right?
Yep.
Like traditionally, like that would be somebody who got money, and that's always an easy target to kind of pick on somebody like that, right? His upbringing, he's Jewish, he's from Canada, he had the afro, he was on Nickelodeon, he was in the wheelchair. So these are easy narratives to kind of place and put on him, right? He's done things to kind of troll other people in the past. So just be mindful of that when you're building your personal persona, your business persona, that you have to be whoever you feel comfortable being. But in that type of role, you're going to garnish more hate as opposed to somebody like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole, who I don't think anybody hates them. Be extremely careful about accepting challenges when you have everything to lose and nothing.
When you have everything to lose and nothing to gain, be careful of accepting challenges. Before Drake responded, I said Drake is too big to respond to Kendrick Lamar. That's what I said. And I have a video on this channel, Brand Video Pro, where I said that. And not to offend any of the Kendrick fans, but it just has to do with what he just said. Drake had everything to lose. And you don't know what strays are going to be thrown at you, so don't even entertain it. Don't even entertain it. I don't understand why Drake even felt the need to respond when, in fact, he ignored Kanye. Every time Kanye throws jabs at him, he never responds. So why even? Because he knows that Kanye is gonna throw, strays any kind of way and say any kind of thing. So he never responds to Kanye. But you thought Kendrick was gonna be better? He's a Gemini. Even though I'm a Gemini, I do have a very brutal mouth and I can say anything. So I wasn't even surprised. Knowing me as a Gemini, I know I'm not surprised how low that he went. I like to think I wouldn't go that low, but I would be vicious. But I wouldn't even engage in this type of, thing in the first place. So to me, that's Drake's L. Like I said it, he's too big to respond. When he says, I'm too famous for this, that's the energy that I was on a month ago. But unfortunately, Drake didn't realize. Somebody said pride. Pride, the downfall. Exactly. Pride is Drake's downfall, if you ask me. So that's one, right? So here's another video for Earn Your Leisure again on this matter.
Oh, he took 2 weeks. But
hold on. What are they going to say? Oh, come on.
And confident in your plan and move with speed. Success loves speed. So I think that Kendrick Lamar, he took his time. when everybody was counting him out, he took 2 weeks. But when he actually did attack, he had dropped 3 records in 3 days. Swift. So it's like, you know, he waited strategically and he moved with extreme precision and the speed of light, right? Like we've never seen anything like that in such rapid time frame. It's always good to have other people champion you, right? As opposed to you champion yourself. Another great thing that Kendrick Lamar has done, he had a public talking about him. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Twitter. He has the public that's championing him, and he's become like a man of the people. That's better than you saying like, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that. If you keep championing yourself, you're going to garnish resentment as well, right? So I think he's done a great job at positioning from the aspect of he never talks. He doesn't do interviews. He's not on Instagram hardly. Got like 2 posts on Instagram. But he's done a good job of having the public and other people, his peers, champion him so that his name is always being spread without him actually having to spread it. Then as far as trapping your opponents, I think that he definitely lured Drake into a trap, calling him out 616. He used Drake's formula, right? 2 back-to-back songs, calling him out. Then Drake drops a visual for a record that's actually a really good record. 6 minutes, 3 different beat changes. And then 10 minutes later, Kendrick Lamar drops and nobody cares about that record anymore. It's like a solar eclipse. He used other people's strengths. So it's like he used not only that, but he also used that Mustard song, the club song, right? And now this is an anthem. That's Drake's formula. If you look at back to back, if you look at Stay Scheming, he's like the first person to actually ever do that, right? Where he made a diss record into a #1 song. But then Kendrick Lamar took that formula and did it with the Not Like Us. And now that's become like a West Coast anthem. You have to take your time and be calculated.
That's why I said like he out Draked Drake in this beef.
And confident in your plan and move with speed. Success loves.
Yeah, so this is great. There's some things that I posted. And guys, as I told you, what's this? Well, this is the girl that apparently was on stage. Guys, I told you guys to follow me. This is Future. I said follow me on, what do you call it? Instagram. Oh, damn. People did Drake dirty. Look at that. Someone did him twerking. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. I mean, he doesn't make it easy for himself when he's like painting his nails. He's wearing, you know, colorful hairpins and doing all this weird stuff. Oh, what did I say? The problem is his ego is too big, and it seems he's naturally a toxic guy, so he's always ready to fight someone. That's the thing. You know, they say ego lessens power. That's a quote. Ego lessens power, and it's like. I said this. You see, this is my video, right? And I said this. J. Cole and Drake are too big for Kendrick. Like I said, I had this whole video and I got bashed. I said they're too big to be fighting because they're not in the same sphere. They don't have the same type of audience. You know, it's different. And so they could have been quiet because Drake is super mainstream. And now he's. What do they say? And okay, this is not a diss to Kendrick, and I love Kendrick as an artist. I just think they're just different. But Drake has so much more to lose with the way that he is so mainstream. Like, he's the white rapper. He's the Eminem of this generation, and that's why they call him White Boy, because he also benefits from his white privilege. And so that alone is just that. You did yourself dirty, man. Oh, man, did my video... I had a clip of the Avengers. So, I want to break down Drake's strategy. Let me see if I can find it. If I want to break down Drake's strategy in this whole beef, and... Do I have the Avengers clip? There was a clip I saw of the Avengers, which was really funny. I wanted to play it. And it was just of basically everybody. It was like an Avengers clip with all of them on it. It was funny. Okay, let's break down Kendrick's strategy in this whole beef. Let's like talk about that. And it's more than just Kendrick moving in speed and doing all these things. But I broke down for you guys earlier, and I kind of like said some of these things. I just want to round it up about the strategy that Kendrick used in this. So we know that Kendrick called Drake out first with Control in 2011 or 2013, so around then. And Drake took offense. Everybody else that was called out on that track in that verse wasn't offended apart from Drake. And both of them have been throwing jabs at each other for years. Now, Drake has created a dynamic where a lot of people in the industry don't like him. As I addressed earlier, because he's sleeping with people's girls and he's backstabbing people and he's doing all these things. You know, a lot of people don't like Drake. And Kendrick now capitalizes off of the friend of, or the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now, I would not be surprised. I don't know who approached Kendrick, or he approached whoever. I think Kendrick was approached, and somebody probably said, "This is your time to strike. We're coming for Drake." And he just, Drake asks him to be on first person shooter. He denies. He says no, because they've been throwing jabs for years, and I'm not cool with you. So why are you asking me to be on that song? And we've been throwing jabs at each other, and so he says no. But Drake decides he's gonna diss him in the song. Again, ego. He disses him in the song, then of course Kendrick is gonna respond. He's just, like he said, Kendrick is of course he's gonna respond. So he responds. And that is what starts this fight. With like that, he responds. This fight is, again, my thing is, Kendrick always catches Drake off guard. Always. First of all, with like that. Drake had just said, I think he finished his tour or something. He had a break in his tour, and he said he's taking a break. Boom, he drops this. Boom, he drops this, right? And now Drake has to scramble and go and sit and go write these verses very quickly. So he writes 2 songs, he pens 2 songs, and he thinks he got him. He thinks this is going to be the same type of battle he had with Meek Mill. He thinks it's going to be similar with Pusha T. Drake is a one-trick pony. A one-trick pony that only has materialistic things to showcase his greatness. And so what does Kendrick do? He catches him off guard. He catches him in a place where Drake would not even have thought that he would be attacked. His character. This is hip hop. We talk about my character and me being a deadbeat baby daddy. This is hip hop. That's supposed to be a good thing. Nope. Not with the emotional maturity and the social consciousness of society today. Kendrick knows his audience. Kendrick understands the climate we're in, and he used that as a weapon to attack Drake. He used that as a weapon to defeat Drake by, first of all, getting his audience against him, getting the people to look at Drake sideways, then attacking Drake after he got his audience separated from Drake. Because at first, it was people like me posting videos like Drake should not respond, he's too big. Drake was surrounded by his fans and his audience. Kendrick first said, "Move away, audience. Let me show you who this man is." Boom. His audience are like stepping back, looking at him sideways. We're now looking at Drake like, what? Then he attacks his character. He attacks him. He attacks his parenting. He attacks his family dynamic. He attacks his relationships. He attacks his manhood, his maturity, his intellect. He attacks his mental health. He attacks him at every single angle that one can attack you at. He strips Drake down to his core. Because one thing that you have to understand about people that use external things to show their value, to believe that they're valuable, these people are typically the most insecure and broken people. And I'm saying that this is a revelation for all of us. When we when we realize that our value does not come from external things, but we have intrinsic value that comes from within, and we are worthy regardless of the material possessions that we have, when we realize that as human beings, we enter a level of enlightenment that liberates us. And Drake has not received that. So Drake attaches a lot of his self-worth to the things around him. And the problem that with people that do that is they tend to end up developing some level of depression and developing some level of suicidal. That's extreme, but some people could go that far. Because what happens if you've attached your value to these external things, your watch, your car, your house, all these things, what happens when all of that is taken away from you? What value do you have? And in a way, Kendrick battle tested Drake by stripping all those things away from him and making the audience see Drake's naked body. That's all we got to see. Him at his core, at least the core that Kendrick believes that he is and has painted it to us and has gotten all Drake's enemies to confirm. He stripped him from his friend. Well, Drake stripped himself from his friends and his peers in the industry by backstabbing them. Then he was stripped away from his fans. Then he was stripped away from his family. Then he was now questioned psychologically, stripped away from himself, and exposed to the entire world. If that is not the worst way that you can win a rap battle, because this is not a bang bang type of battle. This is a rap battle, and today rap is about being a good writer, being a good intellectual. So he intellectually destroyed Drake, and it makes me. I don't think Drake even has the capacity to have an intellectual conversation, like a real one, not anything beyond surface, especially since he obviously hangs out with like 20-year-olds all the time. And so that's the tactic. So that's number one. Then another thing about this battle is every time, I said this a lot already, but every time that Drake released a song, every single time that Drake released a song, there was a song that came out within hours of that song to counter the impact of Drake's song. And if I go back to the playlist that I showed you guys that I made, come on. If I go back to my playlist, how do I? I have to go to YouTube Music. When I go back to my playlist and I break down all right, let me open this. Give me a second. Okay, YouTube Music. I want to play. There we go. Woo, Drake. You got his children to look at him sideways. You got his parents to look at him sideways. You got all these people to look at him sideways. And if I was Drake, I would hate you. Kendrick is brutal. Oh. Meet the Grams. Okay, here we go. If we're back here. Numero uno, yo. And you know that he would have done the same thing to J. Cole. J. Cole, like, when J. Cole said he couldn't sleep at night, he felt like terrible. He could feel the way that Kendrick was going to destroy him psychologically. He said, I'm not ready to face myself like that. Maybe. Okay, if we take it to the beginning, right? Let's start with Like That. Boom, Like That drops. Boom, they attack him. They attack him with The Weeknd. They attack him with A$AP Rocky, right? So this is the Avengers, the team Avengers. They attack him. And it's just like one after the other. I think, in fact, it wasn't like just one after. I think this album came out first. This song comes out. It goes viral. Then they wait a week. They drop another album. Boom. The Weeknd attacks him. Boom. And then they even go to Coachella and even Travis Scott, who is a known Drake collaborator, also attacks Drake. So it's like we can see his ops are the entire, in all the big rappers in the industry don't support Drake. So that's already like, damn, that's crazy. But okay, Drake is standing with J. Cole. At least there's a little bit of like confidence that like, I have someone on my team. I have someone. But then J. Cole now decides that he's going to release a rap and then fall back. And everyone's like, yeah, you took an L. That's weak. Right? You took an L. That's weak. So what happens next? What happens next? Who releases next? I want to find this Avengers video. J. Cole. Wait. Kevin. No, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar beef. Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Avengers. Am I going to find it? Okay, I guess not. So they do that. Boom. J. Cole drops. Boom. J. Cole drops. And it's seen as weak because he falls back in the Dreamville Festival and says, I wish I didn't say anything. You guys can take jabs at me. I'm out. Drake is left alone with the rest of his enemies. And Drake now drops this banger, shuts the whole world down. We're all like, yo, Drake is back. This is like back to back. Boom, Drake is killing it. But by the way, what did I tell you? Every time that Drake drops, within hours or minutes, there's a drop. Boom. Rick Ross drops Champagne Moments. And when he did that, I was like, I was annoyed by Rick Ross dropping that. I was like, why did you do that? Why did you try and take away from Drake's shine? But this was the strategy that they had planned. But Drake is big enough that his core fan base won't care if Rick Ross drops. But I said this earlier, Rick Ross is still a substantial act. There are people that respect Rick Ross over Drake, a lot of people. And these people give Drake his cultural cachet. These people are the ones that need to co-sign Drake for Drake to be seen as a top rapper. This is what he uses to co-sign himself for the mainstream. So he does, these fans that Rick Ross is releasing for, really, they're very important for Drake's image. But so he did, like, when you think about a tree being chopped down, he gave him the axe, it gave him a few swings down, right? A few bam, bam, bams on the axe, right? So what happens next? Drake drops Tailor Made after Taylor Swift's album comes out. So Taylor Swift's album comes out Friday. Tailor Made comes out Friday. So Taylor Swift's album comes out Friday at midnight in the morning. Then by like later on in the day, in the night, like 9 p.m. or something, he drops Tailor Made. To kind of his ego too, to say, look, I can drop on the same day as Taylor. I'm that big. And I can give Taylor some street cred, because that's what he does as a colonizer. Notice that Drake is always seeking approval from his white audiences and from, white people in culture. And he understands the impact of a Taylor Swift. So he needs someone like a Taylor Swift to co-sign him. And, so he's like giving Taylor a shout out and trying to be like, oh, I'm the cool rapper that gives you access to coolness. When Drake has to go to Atlanta to get that type of access. So he drops this, right? He drops this for Taylor. He drops this for Taylor. And Taylor's out here like, yo. Or he drops this and within hours, like a few hours, Kanye drops like that. And Kanye, you're like, what the hell does Kanye have to do with this? Kanye is smart. In push-ups, Drake attacked Kanye. He said a few lines about Kanye. So Kanye, of course, is going to respond. Kanye basically says in the song that you signed to Lucy and everything that you got, I have that and more. Kanye has been a billionaire. He's been way more successful longer than Drake. So all the stuff that Drake brags about, Kanye has already experienced. That's number one. Number two, Kanye is richer than him. I don't know if he's richer than him currently. but he's had more access to money than him, and so he doesn't need to sign a $400 million deal for his whole life to be controlled by the industry. So Kanye's like, I don't respect you. But in addition, of course, Kanye does a genius marketing strategy by he's trying to sell his merch. That's why he really responded. And so he does this interview with Justin LeBoy that you can only watch the interview if you buy his clothes on his website, which is genius. But Kanye's song is epic. The song is really great. It doesn't really add anything to the beef per se, but what it does do is it's that little axe, that little jab. Those little jabs are what is really changing the game, right? Those little jabs chipping away at Drake's super stardom, right? So there's a break. A week goes by. Kendrick doesn't respond. It's Friday. The release day is Friday. Kendrick doesn't respond. Saturday comes. Kendrick doesn't respond. Sunday comes. Kendrick doesn't respond. Monday comes. Kendrick doesn't respond. Tuesday, midday, or even in the morning, boom. Kendrick drops Euphoria. Not Kendrick, not me. Kendrick drops Euphoria. And it's like, bro, unexpected. On a random Tuesday. That is not, like I said, you have to know the rules to be able to break them. Kendrick understood the rules. He dropped that when it was unexpected. Of course, enabling or ensuring, just as Drake started resting and maybe saying, oh, he's not going to respond. Let me go on vacation. Let me do whatever. Boom, he drops. Now, Drake has to scramble and figure out what to do. So Drake scrambles for the whole week, writing, this new song, structuring this whole new song, making a whole music video, scrambling. He's running around Toronto trying to make this music video. That Friday morning at 6:16 a.m. in LA time, boom, Kendrick drops again. So if Drake has finished making the video, has he added any new lyrics to this new song? He has to scramble if he's gonna add new lyrics. But Drake delivers. He delivers that Friday night, and he thinks, I've delivered now. Now I get to be popular, because whoever drops, for the moment that song sits, they are the one that's popular. They just got to blow. So Drake thought, okay, finally I can stop being trolled. But Drake drops. As Drake drops, 15 minutes later, he doesn't even give him an opportunity. He doesn't even give him the opportunity to be celebrated. Boom, Kendrick drops again. This time it's dark, it's Meet the Grams, and it's predictable. He knew, he said, I'm calculating all your steps. He knew that Drake was going to come for his family, so he comes for Drake's family in a way more darker, twisted way. Boom, he comes. What happens next? We think that was an explosion. He's just dropped 3. So we don't think we're going to hear from Kendrick again. We're like, okay, that was crazy. Whoa, we're all like taking a breath. It's Saturday. Boom. Kendrick drops the biggest explosion, the atomic bomb of this whole freaking battle. Defeated. And not only does he drop a song that's the biggest banger, he out-Drakes Drake with his musical strategy. Not only does he do all of that, he does it with Mustard, and it's a banger. But not only that, he outright everything that he set up in this whole battle, everything that he claimed in this whole battle, he has finally delivered the word that he's been insinuating one moment after the other. And that is outright calling Drake a pedophile and a colonizer. And he doesn't go on Twitter to fight him. The thing about this whole battle, another part of Kendrick's strategy, when you have a team, one thing I've learned in life is like, when you have a team, you are more likely going to win. Because whilst Kendrick has a unique positioning, and Kendrick is not a poster, he's not going to win the social media battle. But he has the Avengers team. And where he lacks, other people have strengths. He has the guy that's going to go toe to toe with Drake on Instagram, Rick Ross. Every time there's a new drop, there's anything, Rick Ross is attacking him on social media. Metro's with the beats. The Weeknd is bringing sonic singing to the Drake insults. Everybody has their own component that's unique. A$AP Rocky is giving proximity to superstar Rihanna. That was a diss, I'm sorry. Kanye West is giving I'm bigger than you. I'm everything that you think you've done, I've done more. I'm bigger. I've been here longer. I'm more. Everything that you've done, I've done it more. Everybody has their own component. Kanye does the talking in an interview to disrespect Drake. Who else is there on this Avengers team? It's a big team. And this, every moment, somebody's chipping away at Drake's ego, pride, fame, everything. And Kendrick just does a microscopic stripping of Drake to get him down to his core. And then drops this atomic bomb. Not like us. And once that comes out, it's over. We know the war is over. And you know what? Drake kept saying, waving the white flag. And it's so funny because that last song by Drake, The Heart, that song was Drake waving the white flag. The tone of it, it's giving ending credits. You know, we know that Drake is showing us that he's brave and he has heart. Literally, it's called The Heart. And he literally is showing us, I have heart. Even though I've been defeated, I will never admit it, and I will stand up. Even though I'm bleeding, every part of me is bleeding out. I have been defeated psychologically. His subconscious in this song is just bleeding out and saying he has lost, but Drake refuses to admit it, and he stands weak, not strong. He stands weak. He stands up weak, but he says, I will take the L. He doesn't say that, doesn't admit it, but that's the L. He lost. And now he has way more to lose, and he has lost way more from this battle. And Kendrick has come up on top. Now Kendrick is going to be looked at as the actual GOAT, the greatest rapper of this generation. Now Kendrick's music has now reached an audience that wouldn't typically have encountered his music. And those are the people like me that have a mainstream ear. Now I just from listening to this thing, I started listening to Kendrick's music, and I was like, oh damn, he's really good. Like before, I just hear him on songs, but it never resonated with me. But now I have gone through the albums, and I'm like, yo, this is what I've been sleeping on, bruh. He's crazy. And this is what I'm saying. He really took the crown like a champ. He strategized this thing. He has the best war tactics, the best marketing strategy, the best release rollout strategy. And this is something that should be studied in schools for generations of entertainment. And just even in business. Just a killer, like, you know, I'm currently in Harvard Business School. They should study this rap beef. They really should. And I could write this case study if they asked me to. But those are my thoughts on this beef and Kendrick Lamar's genius strategy that out everything Drake, destroyed him. I'm so sorry for Drake that he engaged. And I said it. I keep going back to the fact that I said Drake is too big to respond to this. And then Drake ends the song, the thingy, by saying, I'm too famous for this shit, basically. And it's not, I already broke down what I think that meant. I'm too famous for this. I don't think it means that he's too famous to be a pedophile. No, I think it means that he's too famous to be associated with this type of thing. Like, he's too big for this to engage. And he should not have responded. So those are my thoughts. This has been a long stream. It's 4 hours and 24 minutes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to head out right now. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. You're watching Brand Video Pro, and I am your host, Ken Mo. I hope you enjoyed the epic saga, the epic breakdown of the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. And I'll see you next time. A peace.